Hi, everybody, and welcome to Experience Milwaukee, the podcast. I am the humble host, Adam Darris, alongside the real host, Steve Glenn,
Hey, everybody.
and another host, Tia. Hi, Tia.
Hello.
We can't have enough hosts on the show.
Yes, and I'll introduce the other 16 hosts throughout the show, and they'll chime in whenever they can.
And Tia, you know this, but for maybe new listeners, I purposely try to interrupt Adam as much as possible, so that's why I jumped in.
Oh, yes.
Because I hate it so much.
Baby. And anyway, this podcast is brought to you graciously by our sponsors, Transfer Pizzeria Cafe, who continues to kill it on the curbside and delivery mechanisms over there. So if you are craving pizza, or my favorite, the salami bruschetta, or anything that's on their menu, please give them a call or go online. I ordered online. It was super easy. And also our other gracious sponsor, Koss Stereophones. I'm on my Koss headphones, which I heard last week when I was talking with them that the model that I have is sold out. They have been selling like crazy because of all of this work at home. People need to be online. People need to be on Zoom. People need to be on calls, and they're using headphones with mics, the wraparound mics like I have. So, yes, thanks, sponsors.
Yeah, I can imagine they'd sell out, honestly. They're good headphones.
In a good way.
And of course, I mean, we're all home. We need good headphones.
So, Tia and Adam, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. It's
Yeah,
been weird.
I bet.
It's been a weird
Yeah.
time.
It has
It's
been a
good
little
to-
odd, hasn't it? Being at home so much. I've been focusing
know.
on home projects like crazy. I hauled 3 yards of dirt around my house over the last 2 days. And I'm really feeling 35 right now. I'll say that.
Thrilling.
Well, it is. For
I'm
me,
kidding.
it was thrilling because I'm getting the dirt piled up on the side of the house so that it, angles away from the house so the water doesn't get in, so my foundation stops cracking.
There you go. That's
Oof.
good work. It's
Oof.
good work, my man.
I'm a real
Tia,
dad now.
I gave my friend Adam some beer because he lives so close to me. But we had to do it like I put the beer at the end. I cleansed the beer. I cleansed my hands, all that stuff, and then put the beer at the end of the driveway.
Yep.
I'm meeting up. I'm going to exchange some stuff with a friend this weekend, probably by doing the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Set it out on the curb or something, and then stand 6 feet away from it and point to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I found that social distancing is actually good for my friendship with Adam.
Keep him as far away as possible.
He stops showing up. Yeah, he stops showing up so much asking for beer.
Yeah. So we have a tremendous, I love using that word, guest who she just found out I know her entire family. Actually, yeah, I know her dad. She knows my wife. She didn't know. I just sprung it right on her. So Jenna Kashou is on the podcast. Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I think this is awesome because we're going to learn a ton about what you've worked on and all. You have like multiple personalities.
I do. I have multiple names. Some people know me as Jenna Reno, which is my married name. But as a writer, I'm Jenna Kashou. And I've been writing for Milwaukee Magazine for a long time. And coincidentally and fortuitously, this opportunity kind of fell in my lap to write this book about Milwaukee, which was so perfect for what I love to do. The timing was horrible. It was right after I had my second kid. But, I thought I just gave birth to a baby. I can write a book. It's no big deal. So it was something I really always wanted to do. So I kind of dug in and embraced the moment and got a great babysitter so I could go out and explore the city. And it was wonderful. It came out May 1st. And I've been just talking about it ever since, and telling everybody about how much I love Milwaukee and what they should be doing to enjoy the city.
And the book, which is 100 Things to Do in Milwaukee Before You Die, I want to say this. I've heard from people who have made things that it is quite an experience to see your thing that you've made, and they call it out in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I've seen your book on tables in other places, which is
It is
cool.
exciting. The first, I going to Boswell bookstore and seeing it there, or seeing it at Sendik's, right up the street when I'm going grocery shopping. You definitely get a little giddy. There's, writers we're struggling artists. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. I remember I've always had a side job, or I guess a full time job that paid my bills, and then writing was always a side gig for me. So to be able to do this and then now see it succeed is just phenomenal. It's just gives me a little pep in my step every time I see it, and of course it's so great too because it's such a great topic. Like everybody wants to talk about what to do in Milwaukee. Well, how do you make the best? How do you make the most out of your experience here? So I love talking to people about it too.
That's cool. That's cool. Tia is not from Milwaukee.
Oh, I didn't know that about you, Tia.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm from Iowa. Actually, I was going to tell you, I saw that you went to college at University of Iowa,
Yes.
right?
Are you a Hawkeye too?
Oh, no, I'm actually a Cyclone.
Ouch. Ouch. And our
I
first fight.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
And it all went downhill from there.
Right. We can't be friends anymore. No, but
Yeah,
I saw you were from Iowa and I thought that was really cool. Or not
yeah,
from
no,
Iowa, that you had spent some time there.
I had a great experience there. I actually originally went there because they have that world-renowned writers workshop, and I was a big Kurt Vonnegut fan, and he went there, and a bunch of other people. Actually, coincidentally, the gentleman that owns the publishing house that published my book is a Hawkeye too. So they're just like all these stars that were aligning. Um, I ended up not staying for that program. It's a graduate program in fiction, and I went the
Hmm.
journalism route, and kind of found my sweet spot with magazine writing once I got back to Milwaukee after a little stint in Chicago. Um, I Chicago is such a cool city, but it just didn't feel right to me. I came back to
Hmm.
Milwaukee in 2003, right as things were really starting to evolve and take off. And I had a great job with the Milwaukee Symphony, so I felt really integrated into the cultural scene here. And it just was, I knew this is where I wanted to be and raise my family. And um, so it's been great. It's been crazy though to see how big and exciting and all the different cultural offerings we have here in the city. Just the quality of the experiences that we can offer our residents. With unmatched livability, like no traffic, stuff's pretty
Yes.
chill. It's great.
So the book, I this is awesome. I can say Tia, and then you answer like 10 of the questions for
Oh
us.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
We're
that's
Great.
directions.
it's a sign of a great guest.
Yep.
Yeah,
And real conversation.
yeah, yeah. Um, I guess I'm when I looked at sort of what's in it, and I don't want to give much away. I want people to go out and search it and find
We
it
don't
and
want to
get
give
it
much away, so what we're
and
going
do
to do
it.
is we're just going to go page by page and talk about what's on each.
Number one, what sort of I mean, it's clear you have this passion for the city, but what pushed you over the edge to go? I am going to write a book about
Ooh, that's actually a good question. Well, first of all, I think print is very important. I write for magazines. I think having a printed thing is really important. There's just such beauty in books, and so I really wanted this to be something that people could experience. They could pick up, they could hand to a friend, they could gift it to somebody. It's not the same when you just send somebody some links on TripAdvisor and saying, "Oh, here's what you should do in the city." It's um, gave me the opportunity to put my voice into why I really love Milwaukee. So the way that it's put together, there's 100 things to do, and each experience has a little vignette of about 100 words. So it's quick and easy to read, but I think you'll find things like okay, art museum. Of course, you can't have a book about Milwaukee and not talk about going to the art museum. But it's not just go to the art museum. I infused it with um, my own take and experience. What you should do at the art museum. Here's a special tip. Did you know they have yoga at the art museum? So things like that. I think people who've lived here all their lives too find a lot of value in it because it's kind of Milwaukee through my eyes. So it just
So you've
go
kind
ahead.
of injected the local and hidden gem aspects of all the cool things to do.
Yeah, and like I said, there are definitely some like very obvious ones like Miller Park, um, but I think those have to be in a book about Milwaukee. There's no way to get around it. But I want people to go back and experience it in a different way because it's part of the fabric of our city. But those organizations also continue to evolve. Like they're always updating their offerings and events and. So I think that's another reason that makes our city great.
I
That
I worry that Adam and Tia are keeping notes about their experience on this podcast, and they're going to write a book about it one day.
Chapter 1, Steve.
Well,
The
No.
real Steve.
the book would never go anywhere because it would just be loops of you guys talking about things all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
be
it would
about
be
Milwaukee.
I
It would
think
be about all the tangents.
it would be ADD the book.
It would be called Tangent. This is his
Tangent.
point to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
Yes.
called Tangent.
The
Tangent
book
City,
about nothing.
the
Yeah.
story of Steve and Adam trying to make a podcast.
Well, I try to keep you in line.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Right.
Jenna, you
But
you touched
go
on
ahead. Go ahead.
something. Yeah, you touched on something pretty a little mind blowing actually. As somebody who's grown up in the Milwaukee area my entire life, that's the experience that I've tried to create for myself is exactly what you're putting in the book, which is yes, I know Miller Park is there, but I want to go there and experience something a little bit different about that, or in a different way, or a neighborhood I haven't been to before. And now people can read your book and show up from a different city or a different state and create those experiences without having to live here for 35 plus years.
Yeah,
Not to give
absolutely.
my age away.
Old man. I'm kidding. I'm older than you.
Yes.
Um, that's a great point, and I'll add to that, Jenna, that you've created a tool for people to use when they have visitors to look super cool, like they know a lot of shit about the city.
True.
Yes.
True.
So I have to ask. This is sure you've written a book. Awesome. It's about Milwaukee. It's all these things to do. Here's what we really want to know. What are some of the coolest experiences you've had from writing the book? TV shows, interviews, people you've
Yeah.
met, all that. Yeah, all that
Um,
stuff.
it's tricky because oh, I've been very fortunate. The book has been very well received. The Milwaukee media has been very gracious. I've had some really great interviews. I gotta tell you though, it's those little personal touches that really excite me. The first day the book came out, we had a big launch party at the Ivy House, which my husband and I own this new venue in Walker's Point. It's a big event space. And Mayor Barrett showed up, and I just about freaked out because I thought, what a nice guy to go out of his way to show up. And, I had almost 100 of my friends and families there. People kind of came out of the woodwork, so that was really humbling, just kind of seeing, your friends come up and come out to support you on a work night, and to buy the book. So that was really special. And then, I'd say just the little quirky moments. I had a guy email me last week, and it was just so funny because here we are just twiddling our thumbs, sitting at home. We can't really interact with anybody. It's just such a weird time right now in the world. And he told me that he had used my book to rekindle his romance with his girlfriend, and they had been using it diligently. They've been going through all the different activities, and he said, it would really mean a lot. I know I can't meet you in person, but can I mail you my book and will you autograph it? And that just blew my mind because I thought, oh my gosh, first of all, this guy really like wants my autograph this bad? How thoughtful. But secondly, like you as a writer, you always hope that your writing is going to affect someone in a positive way, and just I feel so tickled that they used this book to sort of rediscover why they like spending time together, and so I'd have to say that was really one of my favorite parts about putting this out into the world and getting it into some stranger's hands and having him reach out and tell me how much it meant to me. That was really, really exciting.
Love it. Love it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
By
And
the
how
way,
like
what a
this is
cool.
a PSA for everybody. If somebody does something that really means a lot to you, tell them because it'll make them feel so special. It really does.
Absolutely. It's those little things, and those little
Yeah.
things are maybe little to you, but they're huge potentially to
Totally.
the other person.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say I had that maybe a similar experience when you sent me the note from the website, and I get this email. It's at almost 9:30 at night, and it's, "Hey, I'd love to be a guest on the podcast to talk about all my suggestions for essential Milwaukee experiences as outlined in my book, 100 Things to Do in Milwaukee Before You Die. Thanks." And I was like, "Holy shit! She wrote this book.
You
I
know
know this
us?
book. Yeah, she reached out to us.
How have we
Wait,
not
you
met
listen?
before?
You listen to this podcast?
Yeah." So that was a cool moment, and I immediately ran into the room where my wife was in the house and said, "Hey, do you know Jenna?" And yeah, I know. Yeah, that's awesome. And so we both just like reveling in the fact that you had reached out. It was just a really cool gesture,
It
for me.
actually surprises me that it took us this long to connect all these dots, like especially knowing that we have all these common friends. I mean, again, we were talking Milwaukee is small Milwaukee, and it's
Yeah,
beautiful in
Mm-hmm.
so many ways. I
and I
mean,
think even more that knowing that your dad sends me random texts here and there.
who thinks you're his cousin Stevie?
we should have met a long time ago.
I know.
Maybe that was your dad's way because uh, your dad's amazing. By the way, I don't want to.
Thank you.
We're having fun at his expense right now. Your dad is amazing, a great guy. Maybe it was his way of trying to get me to help him with some of these projects he's working on.
Maybe. I mean, he's a
Because he did
retired guy.
send,
He just wants to be in the know. He wants to be in the mix. He's feeling left out, I think.
but wicked smart businessman. I
Yes.
think that's how he kind of motivates people to do things. Sends them random texts with a Lowe's.com link, and you're like, "Oh, I can help with that project."
Yeah, actually, maybe I should fix my fence. Good point.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Uh,
Tangent
um,
City.
where?
It's
Tangent.
Yeah,
another
where are
chap.
we?
It's
Tina,
another.
where are
It's
we
another
now? Yeah.
chapter.
Yeah, we need to get back on track. uh, no, I was wondering, and I've been thinking about this question because I like to share my thoughts of what my favorite things are in the city. So what's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite thing to do in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
personally?
That's a hard question because there's so many. Depends on my
I
mood,
know.
who I'm with. My husband and I met at Balzac, so that's one of my favorite spots. It's a
Ooh,
wine
good
bar on
place.
Brady Street. Then we lived in the third ward for a long time, so we ate at Bavette all the time. And she's Karen, the chef there, is just amazing, and she's gotten all sorts of James Beard nominations, and So it's really nice to see that a casual gourmet place has gotten so much acclaim. Um,
Mhm.
and we recently um, experienced Jackson Grill. It's like a little hidden gem over, it's like kind of almost West Dallas, like West Milwaukee area. Really cool little supper club. Bryant's, we love Bryant's. The Roman Coin, it's just like a little dive bar on Brady Street. But if we're gonna go out, we like to do something casual. Um, but then live music is kind of our other thing. That our one of a couple of our first dates were Turner Hall, Pabst. We were and still really are into live music, and I
Mhm.
think that's one of the greatest things that Milwaukee has to offer is that we have affordable live music in these beautiful venues like the Pabst Theater, and even then just some of the small places like Cactus Club or Mad Planet, where you've seen some really great indie acts, and then years
Mhm.
later they get super famous. So I think having access like that makes some of these experiences really special too. Um, but that's kind of what we like to do. But
Yeah.
being outside too, we're big outdoorsy people. So I always say, I think the Milwaukee park system is unmatched, and just having those amenities here in the city too is something that we really like to take advantage of.
Where are your favorite cheese curds from?
Uh,
Oh, hard hitting questions.
Black Shadow Creamery, and I don't like them fried. I like them fresh and squeaky.
Okay.
Do you
Oh.
really? That's
Yes,
So you
awesome.
do you
yes.
ever eat fried cheese curds or
Every
just
once
like
in a
anti?
while, but I don't like fried. I know this is gonna I sound crazy, but I don't really like fried food. I love French fries, but you can only eat so many. I don't know. I feel like if somebody said, you want a plate of fried food or do you want an ice cream sundae, I would say ice cream sundae any day.
Mhm.
I feel like you get it. You're getting it right, Jenna, and the rest of us are nuts.
Uh,
I feel like the fried food thing should be the thing that be like, not a big fan. They dump that in boiling hot oil, right?
Right?
it's
I, but yeah, I tend to agree with you on that ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
I got a huge sweet tooth, and I love.
Yeah.
is maybe is so food is not fried regularly. I guess
Wait,
um,
how do you eat not fried
there's
food?
non-fried food or microwave.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, Steve, you're missing out. We have so many good restaurants here in Milwaukee. Um, yeah, that was, and I would say too, one of the things, this is kind of embarrassing, I will admit, I am not a huge custard fan. Like, I like ice purple door any day of the week, but custard kind
Mm.
of, it's heavy, it's rich. But
Mhm.
I had, again, during this exploratory phase of writing the book, I'm like, all right, I can't call myself a Milwaukeean and not have had Leon's. It had been a long
Yeah,
time since we had
Right.
Leon's custard. I went, and like in true Milwaukee fashion, there's this lady who's in line with me, and I said, okay, what should I order? I haven't been here in a long time, and I want to get like the real experience, the real Leon's experience. And so she directed me, she said, well, you can't go wrong with, the regular chocolate vanilla, but the special cinnamon is to die for. And so I had it, and it knocked my socks off. It was so good. And I was just so appreciative. This lady is so funny. I'm like, can I take a selfie with you? Because you were so helpful. And I said, sure. And again, like just Milwaukee people and Milwaukee generosity and just humbleness. That's what I love about the city.
it's funny. We literally Adam and I just got done with a podcast right before this one, and you've already mentioned two of the things that were on the previous episode that'll
Oh,
come
really?
out. Yeah,
Yep.
which is great. It's just a consistent, and one of them being the friendliness of people here and people saying
Yeah.
hi out of the blue.
Hmm.
Um,
Or being open to answering a question from a stranger who you're waiting in line with.
yeah,
Right.
It's very human.
and I can just picture like you pulling a little notebook out and writing all the notes down.
Yes.
This is for my book. Yeah, um, yeah. So I have see my problem is, you Jenna, you and Adam are like, yeah, I'm a little more on the savor or the sweet side than the savory side. I'm just like, bring it all on. Leon's, Purple
Oh,
Door. Yeah,
Sweet and
fried,
savory.
not fried. Yeah, whatever. I don't care
All right,
because
Tia,
my
you're the
Tia,
tiebreaker then. Sweet or
yeah, Tia.
savory?
That's tough. I think I'm probably more of a savory.
You're fired.
Well, you're
Like,
not getting invited to the cheese curd crawl then.
exactly.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, you're out, Adam.
Okay, fine.
So my favorite Leon's item is the hot fudge Leon, which I don't believe is on the menu.
Oh,
It's a
Whoa.
giant hot. It's a giant hot fudge sundae with pecans.
oh my
What do you mean
God.
by giant?
Like it's like in a pint glass size contain thing cup.
Can you eat the whole thing by yourself?
Like before I get back to the car.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I usually order
That's a
two.
little
One,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
buddy. Steve, we're gonna
I've
have to have a
never been to
conversation
Leon's.
after this.
You stay out of my life.
Yeah, Tia, I feel like this is a good opportunity for you to put it on your to-do list for
I
post
know, I need
quarantine.
to. Post
Yeah,
quarantine. It's
Mm-hmm.
on.
or buy
Because
the
it is
book.
solid. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get the what was it called, Steve?
Hot fudge Leon.
The hot fudge Leon.
Yeah,
They're not
it's
gonna
like
look at me
20.
weird when I ask for it.
They will not. They know exactly what you're talking about.
Great. Okay. Great.
And it's like $22. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's
What?
not that much. It's not. It's like $4. It's fine.
Okay.
Cash only.
Got it.
Yeah,
Done.
remember that, cash only. So, where are we in this interview now? We've gone on this tangent of things I eat.
Steve's just hungry now.
No, I have my my lakefront here.
Mm. Oh
Anyone
yeah,
else have anything? Jenna
Jenna,
was.
as the resident beer guy on the podcast, um, did you include any brewery tours or brewery visits?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I will tell you that was one of the hardest things because there are so many great breweries in Milwaukee. And in the way I approached it is I thought, okay, well, so say someone's picking this up for the first time and they only have a couple of days and they're in Milwaukee, say they're a visitor, what would be a great experience that I could give them? So I chose two breweries that I love, um, Third Space and City Lights, because they're both right in Menominee Valley. They're very different. Their beers are different. I think all their beers are very unique. Um, and that's sort of like one great experience. I mean, it's impossible to visit all the great breweries in Milwaukee in one fell swoop. So that was my pick. However, I also included that if you're going to do a tour, you have to do the lakefront tour because that is the best. And I mean, really, their beer is some of my favorite too. So
It is top notch. Yeah,
it's
I
solid.
always recommend the lakefront tour. They hire theater actors. They hire people who are used to speaking in front of a crowd, which is incredible.
Hmm.
I've been to a few outside of Milwaukee that are the actual brewer
Oh,
that's giving the tour, which is great because they're so knowledgeable. You can ask anything you want, but the tour it gets to be a little bland. So when
hmm,
you come back and you go to Lakefront, you're like, yes, they
yes,
get it. You got to be a little bit of a showman for
yeah,
this to work.
for sure.
Yeah. So and of course, absolutely adore Third Space
Yeah,
beer. It's so
yeah.
good, and I need to get back to City Lights because I
It's
love their
beautiful.
venue. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. I also have to say though too, the new Pabst Brewing Complex. Well, it's not new, but the Pabst Brewing Complex, that's right behind the Fiserv, that whole area, Ninth and Juno and beyond. That is one of my favorite places too, because I always tell people, if you have an afternoon in Milwaukee, go there because you can go to Best Place, you can do the tour there, you can go to the new Pabst Brewery, which is awesome, and the beer that they make there is delicious. The Brew House Inn and Suites is there, Jackson Blue Ribbon Pub. I mean, there's just so much history there. And then there's
Hmm.
the contrast of modern. You have the Milwaukee Brewing Company has a new space there
Hmm.
with really good food, like good bar food. So I mean, you can really just like waste away a whole day in that little area. It's all very walkable. Um, so it's nice, and I like the little nooks and crannies and the pockets that we have in our city. You could do a River West day, you can do a Bayview day, you can spend a whole afternoon at the lakefront, and everything's so different. So I'm really into the little neighborhood vibes we have going on here in Milwaukee. I've lived in almost all of them too, by the way.
Oh
Really?
Bayview.
wow.
I haven't lived in River West. Bayview, East Side, Third Ward. Now I'm in Whitefish Bay, so we're in the burbs, but we have two little kids, so it's a great community. Um, and I got to tell you too, like we just sucked it up, and we're like, we'll pay a ton of money in taxes because I can't imagine living far from the lake. That's the whole reason. Another whole reason why we chose to stay in Milwaukee, because we have this beautiful access, these beaches, and this amazing lake, and it's just such. After living in Iowa, no offense, Tia, I mean, I thought
Yes, landlocked.
I can't not live by the water.
Yes.
So yeah, so we're in Whitefish Bay, and it's great.
So are you going to, I forget whether this is Whitefish Bay or Shorewood, but are you heading down to a Red Lion? No, Three Lions.
Three Lions, that's Shorewood.
Three
It's
Lions.
awesome though. It's a great spot.
I cannot stop being in love with that place.
You don't have to.
I
Why?
a-
It's a great
and
place.
they are well. So first of all, I had a friend who was really into soccer,
Hmm.
so we went there one very early morning. I think we showed up at like 9 a.m., but they had opened at 6 to show the games, bar open and everything. And also, pretty much everybody that works there is from the UK,
Hmm.
and I'm a total sucker for accents.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
here we
I just
go.
immediately fall in love. Like I
He's
don't,
a
guy, girl, doesn't matter. Love them. Think they're
he's a
Yeah.
best. They're
sucker.
the best
He
best people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a sucker for the British accent. Yeah,
I
that
am,
that
and they're just so cool. They're such nice people too. That every person that I've interacted with at either Three Lions or Red Lions has always been just like immediate friend kind of
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, there's another great spot in Shorewood called Cloud Red. And same thing, like the staff makes it. You go there and well, the food is really amazing too, but the staff is great. Whitefish Bay needs some work on, I'm not gonna lie, on their food and drink selections. But Shorewood's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So in River West too, actually, we do go to River
Hmm.
West to dine a lot now because it's really close to us. So yeah, I mean places like Cafe Corazon and Cafe Centro, they're Mad Planet if we're gonna like get a babysitter and go wild. There's just so much to do.
stay up to the break of 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come home with and then, regret everything when you have a hangover the next day and your kids are in your
Oh,
bed at 7 a.m.
Damn,
yep. And you're just yeah, and there's regrets all over
I
the
know.
place. Just kind of why did I
You don't
drink?
do
So
that
many.
enough. I gotta say,
Why did
my
I?
husband and I
Why
don't
did
do
I?
that enough
Why did I drink? It's like, why did I have these kids?
Whoa, Steve went another direction with it.
I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I've never said that. I was
anymore.
speaking on behalf of a friend.
Yes.
So Jenna, all right, you've got the book here. Where do you go from book now? I mean, it's still fresh and young. It's
Yeah.
still super relevant. You can like what does the future look like for you, the book, and what's on your mind for what's next? If you
Well,
can share.
yeah. I mean, again, it's such a weird time. I was really hoping that the DNC would buy 5,000 copies of my books and they would include it in everybody's gift bag. But who knows
Ooh, that's a
at this
good
point?
idea.
I mean, they're still coming, which is great. And again, having my husband and I owning a venue is we're sort of waiting with bated breath here to see who's going to book and how many events we're going to host. But it's been a weird couple months. So I have a lot of time to think, and I've been reevaluating. I'm doing some writing. I'm doing some more personal stuff. There is a book inside me. It's part inside my heart, part on my computer, about my family, because I have a really great family. So I think one day I would like to write something more personal. But I mean, Milwaukee will always be. I'll always be a huge cheerleader for the city. I want to keep writing about the city. The publisher that I work with has all sorts of different titles, all sorts of special interest titles specific to Milwaukee. So, I definitely think there might be another Milwaukee book that I would love to write, maybe a little deeper dive. But I'll continue to do some magazine writing, which I love, and I kind of just take it as it comes. Like I said, I was just so fortunate to. I think if you just, again, Milwaukee being kind of a small community, if you just work hard and you can, connect with people in a meaningful way, good opportunities come. And I've been so lucky throughout my career where I've had some really great opportunities just kind of fall in my lap because I've followed that mantra, like don't burn bridges, be loyal, be good to the people you meet, um, and I've been very lucky. So I don't know. I guess that's my best answer. We'll see. I mean, I feel like all eyes are going to be on Milwaukee for a long time with people talking about the DNC, and now we have the Viking cruise line coming through. We're going to have all sorts of new tourism opportunities with the cruise ship coming in Milwaukee. So I feel like the Milwaukee fever will not die down. So I have plenty more to say about that. So we'll see.
It will never die. The
Yeah,
Milwaukee fever will never
getting
die.
better.
Oh yeah,
It is getting better.
it
I
is.
have to
Yeah.
say, Ivy House.
Yeah.
That is such a cool spot. So I've only been for the Milwaukee Makers Market,
Yeah.
but such a
I love
cool
that.
spot. It was so much fun. Like I took all the kids and their friends actually.
Yeah.
So like we tried not to destroy anything there, but
There's about
we had a
30 kids there.
blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. You know what? Drunk adults are a lot more destructive than kids. We've been really
I believe
fortunate.
it.
Yeah, it's been open for like 2 years now, and the same thing. My husband and I love the city, and he owned a DJ sound lighting business, and so he's been in the event business for a long time. But he knew he wanted a space of his own, and so this kind of came up, and um, he was actually looking at barn venues, outside of the city. But this came about, and I thought, you have this great opportunity with a warehouse and an up and coming venue or an up and coming neighborhood in Walker's Point, and with the neighboring harbor district. Like, there's just so much great synergy happening with all sorts of different types of industries in that area. So he gets all the credit. Him and his business partner had the vision to turn it into this really elegant industrial space, just dripping with greenery, and it's like this. It's like this urban oasis. You go in there and you just feel like, oh, where am I? This is so elegant. Of course, I'm giving you the really sexy spiel about it, but everybody experience it. It's mostly private events, but we have this beautiful patio um, that you can go. There's going to be some concerts and some outdoor summer things that are going to be open to the public. So, um, but that whole area, like Boone and Crockett, Taco Moto is one of my picks. They're that food truck that's parked at Boone and Crockett, and
Yes.
oh, it's unbelievable. That whole
Absolutely
food park.
amazing.
It's so great. Like, you
It,
can go there, you can do a pedal tavern, and then you can rent a boat if you want, and then you can go inside in Boone and Crockett and have a drink in this really cool bar. If you're having a private party, you go the Cooperage, or they have live music at the Cooperage, and then you can get a taco whenever, the super gourmet taco. So that whole area is just such a fun. The guys that have put that together have done a really great job. So we
and
have a lot of really great people in the city, I would say,
yeah,
too, that are making this all happen.
and pretty easy to park over there.
Yes,
Just saying.
Hmm.
sure.
I've never had
Just saying.
a trouble finding a spot.
No.
It's great.
Good.
These babies that complain about parking.
I am one of those babies that always
Yeah.
complains about parking. But that's why I love Milwaukee, because rarely do I have an issue.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So going forward, how, like, if people want to connect, where do they find everything? The book, you keep up with things, Ivy House, whatever you want to share.
Sure.
This is your time.
So if you want to buy the book directly from me, you can go to jennakashou.com. That's Kashou. You should be able to find it though at Boswell. Don't buy it on Amazon. Buy it at Boswell or Sendix or a local shop.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can buy it on Amazon too. But if you just
I
want
took it out of my cart.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I buy
No,
a lot
I'll go to
of stuff
Sendix and buy it. I'm very happy doing that.
on
I'll look
Amazon.
so smart to those people.
But on Instagram, I've been sharing some, stuff that's above and beyond the book too. It's Explore the 414 is my motto, my tagline, my moniker. And then on Facebook, I'm Jenna L. Kashou, Jenna Lee Kashou. So you can find me there too. And I like to share, other stuff I write about for Milwaukee Magazine or just cool stories I see. So it's not all book stuff. It's just me loving the city.
Well, that's a big job for to be doing. So that's awesome.
Thanks.
I'm gonna search you out on Instagram. I'm
Yeah, I
probably
just
already
found you on
following you.
Instagram.
Oh, good.
Yep, same. No big deal.
This has been
That was
super
the
fun.
lull. We were all going, explore the 414.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Go follow.
I want to keep, telling people go out and do this, but nobody can go out. So it's been
I know.
a little
That's
hard,
the
but
hard part.
I'm putting together some new content and that will be updated again soon.
Well,
Yeah, I do like adventure travel Instagram, and right now I'm just like, I want to do something for everyone, but it's hard right
Yeah.
now.
yeah, Tia, you can't lose your what is it, influencer status?
Oh my gosh.
You don't
It's
want to lose
not
that, Tia.
false.
Tia, we need that.
I know you guys keep me going.
Well, cool. This was super fun. Thanks for joining us. Keep up the great work, and who knows? Maybe you'll come over to your dad's house one day, and I'll be there helping.
Randomly, after a
in the
text
backyard.
that you received with a fence post and
Yeah,
paint
I'm painting a
per the
fence or
Lowe's
something.
link.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Funny. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the work you do, and this has been super fun. And yeah, I encourage everybody to just make the most out of our city.
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Yes.
Adam, Tia,
Steve, Jenna.
I don't know if you wanted to say.
Oh, what are we doing? Oh, okay.
And now.
Oh,
Black
and now Black Belt Theater?
Black Belt Theater.
Question mark?